when TecEx first started out, we were originally a tax compliance business. We helped clients with cross-border tax efficiencies, mainly in the indirect tax space. And we very often came across customers like you just described, that they were trying to manage these large global deployments. They assumed that a courier like FedEx or a freight forwarder, could help them. And, they just went ahead, budgeted for the transport and, got stuck right into deploying into 30 difficult countries. And you mentioned you were shipping firewalls, and firewalls are security devices with encryption. They've got all sorts of bells and whistles, which trigger a whole host of compliance red flags in many countries. They are what we call in the industry dual use commodities, which means they have a military as well as a commercial and civilian application, which in turn makes them highly regulated and controlled, on a global level. So what TecEx does and what differentiates us from a freight forwarder is we do not just handle the transportation. That's the easy part, getting the goods physically on an airplane from A to B. That's what FedEx, that's what your freight forwarder does. What TecEx focuses on is import of record, customs compliance and local compliance, and then the local handling and delivery at destination. That's our core services. Not to say we do not offer the international freight as well as part of our service offering, but what differentiates us from your typical FedEx shipment is the import compliance. And back to your example of, a firewall, if you are importing a firewall into certain countries, you need licenses, you need permits, you need a locally registered entity, which is specifically registered and has a track record of importing security devices which are controlled into that country. You need personnel on the ground who are going to manage the customs clearance process, manage those licenses, present them, deal with any questions that customs might have. And all of these things that I've just mentioned are most of the time overlooked when planning a project such as you mentioned. So